All right, Ryan. So what we'll take care of today is going to be a financial wellness checkup. So a great opportunity for us to find out how things are going for you. It's one of the things I really enjoy about Kohler Credit Union is our commitment to your financial wellness. So what I'm going to do today is ask a series of questions about the different areas of your financial life to get an idea of who you are and know you a little better. And that'll help me make some great recommendations about how we can help you. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Great, let's get started. What we'll set aside is probably about 30 minutes for ourselves today. Just make sure we've got time to go through all those different avenues. Does that sound like an okay amount of time for you?
Yeah, I have 30 minutes for sure.
All right, perfect. What's the next commitment that you have after this?
You know what, to be honest, if we go a little bit more than 30 minutes, I have time today, so that's not a problem.
Oh, very cool. Must be a day off, huh?
Day off.
Yeah, perfect. Great day for getting things like this done. During the process, while I'm asking those questions, I'm going to find out some great information about yourself, and I'm going to take notes if that's okay.
Not a problem.
Helps me to make sure that when we come around and talk about things that we can help you with, that you don't forget anything.
Okay.
Well, let's get started. What I'd like to talk about first is what you do with your money and your finances on a day-to-day sort of setting. So to start off, can you tell me about the accounts that you have right now elsewhere?
Sure. I do have an account with Associated Bank. It's where my wife's direct deposit goes. So we have a savings and a checking account.
Okay.
And we also have 2 custodial accounts for our kids.
Great. So how old are the little ones?
3 and just under a couple months.
Oh, just up or under a couple of months. That was always my least favorite time. I'm a big fan of sleeping and really couldn't get much of it right then. So, and thinking about that relationship that you have at Associated Bank, can you tell me about what you like most about your current situation?
The nice thing is her direct deposit goes in there, easy access. They have a couple of locations throughout Wisconsin, so as we travel, we can always find a place in case we need to make a stop. Other than that, we use their electronic services, which has been really nice. Other than that, can't really speak too much more about them.
Certainly. Tell me a little more about those electronic services that you like.
I use their mobile banking, use the online, use bill pay, and also use the thing where you take a picture of a check.
All right, that mobile capture that you can.
Yeah.
That seems pretty cool. I always wonder, how do they keep things from going wrong with that? Like, why don't I just take like 4 pictures of my check?
Yeah, I don't know. Never thought of doing it.
Hopefully I didn't give you any ideas. So, thinking once again about that relationship, if there's things that you could change, what would that be?
Having some problems with holds on checks. So I'll bring a regular check in on a weekly basis, and they're still putting 2 to 5 day holds on the check. If it's on a Friday, sometimes that doesn't get released until the Wednesday after. So that's been a little bit of an inconvenience for us.
Okay. And what are those checks from? Tell me a little more about that.
What my wife does is consulting on the side. And so she gets a cut of the consulting portion of it, and we get them about once every 2 weeks. And, you know, they're not big checks. We definitely have matching funds, and there's nothing we could do about it.
Okay. And it can be really frustrating when you've got that built-up relationship and you don't feel you're getting taken care of quite like you would like.
Right.
Very good. So one other thing is, with the relationship you have right now, what do you think is most important when you're working with your banking institution for your borrowing and account needs?
You know, for me, I just want decisions to be made fast. You know, I have my accounts here at Kohler Credit Union, so that's been a benefit to me.
Okay.
Whenever I've tried to work with Associated, it just seems like it takes a couple of days to get the same type of answers.
Gotcha. And those decisions that'd be around what sort of areas?
Well, for example, I had an overdraft fee on my Associated account, and I called in to try and get that taken care of. Call center sent me to the place where I open up my accounts, which I don't really have a relationship with them, and it took them over 2 days to get back to me before a decision was made. And at that point, they told me that it was the only time that they would reverse a fee for me. So I guess I didn't really feel like I meant anything to them.
Yeah, definitely. It can make you feel where this isn't quite that hometown institution you'd hoped for.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thinking about as we're building a development or a relationship today, Ryan, what do you think you're looking for out of Kohler Credit Union?
You know, I just want people to be responsive in the sense that if I have a need, we can get it taken care of within 24 hours, or setting the expectations of what it's going to take. But then also looking for an institution that's accessible if I travel.
Okay. Yeah, having that ability to access your money wherever you might go. Do you get to travel much?
A lot across the United States, probably travel about 4 to 5 times a year, a week at a crack.
Oh, that's cool. Is that business or pleasure?
Both.
Oh, nice. Yeah, it's good to get them both done in one thing. And
Right.
you can maybe expense a little bit of some of it, but only when it's appropriate. So, very good. I think we've got a really good idea of those day-to-day types of things that you have right now that you're looking for. So you're looking for that hometown feel with your institution. You like those convenience services that are including the electronic sorts of items. And then just looking for that ability that when you are out and about, that you're able to access your money easily. Does that sound accurate?
Sounds accurate.
Awesome. Something that gives me a good idea there. What I'd like to talk about next, we've got that account sort of side for what's going on with your life. I'd like to talk about your borrowing needs right now and what you're taking care of.
Okay.
So let's go into your borrowing situation right now. So tell me a little bit more about your current borrowing situation and the goals you have in the next few years.
I have a home loan. Had it for a couple of years. It's with Wells Fargo right now. Just kind of went with them because at the time it was the most convenient place to do it at. They're one of the largest providers of mortgages, so just seemed like the right thing to do. Also have a car loan out through some credit union. I did the financing through the dealership. Yeah, that's what I can think of right now.
Okay. Great, that gives us a great starting point. And what I'd also like to do, Ryan, is take a look at your credit report because that can fill in the gaps for those things that you might not be thinking about. So I'll go ahead and do that now.
Okay.
Happy to have it here. Great. So I do see those things that you had talked about. So we start here, we've got that home loan that you have through Wells Fargo Home Mortgage. And can you tell me a little more about the situation you have with your home, like your equity versus the loan that you have?
Sure. Well, I just got my tax bill. I don't really know what the balance is on the loan right now. I don't see that very often, but I know on my tax bill, because I just paid the taxes, that they said it was worth about $185,000.
Okay. And then what I'm seeing from the credit report is that you've got a balance then of $112,000, about $113,000 left over there. Okay, great. And then when was the last time that you had looked at refinancing?
Well, I haven't refinanced the loan in about 3 years or so. At that time, that's when I did the Wells Fargo loan, and I think at that time it was a rate between like 4% or so, right around in that area.
Okay. And I see the auto loan that you do have here. So we've got that through Shoreline Credit Union. Does that sound familiar?
Yep.
Okay. And you had mentioned that you got connected to them through the dealership?
Through the dealership. They said at the time that was the best rate that they could give for us. With the longer term, and it's between 3 and 4%.
Okay. And then right now it looks like that's about $17,000 that you owe there, correct?
Yeah, that sounds about right. I guess I don't really keep track of that as much.
Okay. And got some other things that I do see here I'd like to find a little bit more about. So it looks like you've got a credit card through Capital One right now.
Oh yeah, that's my emergency card. So if I forget cash or my debit card, it's always in my wallet. I just kind of use it as a backup just in case.
Okay, so something that's not common to purchase, just the emergency backup.
Yeah.
And what benefits do you get from that card?
What do you mean?
Does it pay you any cash back? Is there a perk that you really like?
No, it's just one of those cards that I don't have to pay for to have, but I get a statement each month. That's about it.
Okay. So really it is just kind of out of sight, out of mind for you.
Right.
Very good. And I do see here that you'd had a Home Depot card in the past. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah, so we did a remodel of our kitchen, and we used that, the 0% financing, to purchase some of the appliances at the household.
Okay. Very good. And just check here. So if I were to really look back at the borrowing situation for yourself, sounds like the big loan for you is going to be that Wells Fargo home mortgage that you do have. It's been a few years since you've taken a look at a refinance or see how rates are going for you. And you've gotten connected with them kind of out of convenience. It just seems like the place to go. Same thing with Shoreline. It's actually how you've gotten to them was through the dealership, kind of that convenient connection. Looks like when you had made a large purchase, you kind of find a deal that's out there at the time.
Yep.
And you do have your Capital One card just for emergencies. And, actually, can you tell me a little bit more about what might be coming up in your future and how you might take care of that?
Well, we do have one car that's been paid off for a while. Probably looking at replacing that car in the next year or so. Other than that, that's really all that we have going on.
Good. I can't forget that. It's good to know what you have on your horizon, too. All right. So Ryan, I think that gives me a really good idea of what you have right now as far as loans and where you might be heading with that. And next, I want to take a look at what you've got in store for your savings, things that you're planning for that long term for yourself.
Sure.
Let's take a look at that now.
Okay.
Okay, great. So what I'd like to explore now, Ryan, is going to be the long-term goals that you have and how you'd like to save towards those. So to start off, can you tell me a little bit about what you have as our goal for your accounts in the upcoming year?
Oh, I guess I haven't really thought about that. Well, goals. Well, for the custodial accounts, we've been allocating $100 a month for each of the kids to save for their educational needs once they get to that age or whatever it may be. I don't know. What are you trying to get at? I mean, I guess I don't understand the question.
It's a great start, and actually what you've touched on there with the savings plan that you have for the children is kind of what I'm looking for yourself as well. So tell me about how you like to set aside money and what your plan is for doing that.
Okay. Well, with work, I contribute to 401k for retirement, so is my wife.
Okay.
We do have 2 Roth IRAs. Guess that's in the checking account. We just kind of flow enough money into the checking account to pay the bills, so I guess that's about it.
Okay, so you've got the 401k you mentioned through work, and you mentioned about the IRAs. Tell me a little bit more about those.
Those were rollovers from previous employers. Just put the money with one of the guys that we know from college, and he's helped taking care of everything for us.
Okay, so it sounds like you got a guy.
Yeah, a guy.
I do like that. I always think it's kind of funny. All right. Do you know what company it is that you have that with, or how it's invested?
Edward Jones.
Okay.
But like I said, he, we told him what we wanted, and he took care of it all for us.
Very good. Yeah, and that's great to know that. I guess that leads into one of the things that's really important for myself to know, which is around your retirement. So you've got this gentleman, Edward Jones, that's helping you to save for your retirement. And when was the last time that you had a chance to meet and review your goals towards retirement?
I don't know, 2-3 years when we actually put the money in.
Okay, so a bit of the set it and forget it attitude?
I guess.
Okay. Not sure if you know where that comes from. You might be a bit young. It's an old infomercial for, don't recall. All right. And in that same realm of knowing what you're doing for yourself as far as good to know what happens in an emergency. So if you had an emergency that came up, what would you draw on to help pay for that financial emergency?
I call you.
Call me.
Yeah, I would call you. No, I don't know. I mean, we have some savings that we could probably tap into, maybe the 401k, but other than that, I hope nothing happens.
Gotcha. And I would almost seem to think about what we talked about before, and clarify if I'm wrong, that when something comes up, that you turn to credit?
Yeah, that's why I said I'd call you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking you meant by
Yeah.
that. So. All right, and in an absolute emergency, you say you might turn to something like those retirement accounts?
Yes.
Okay. And one other thing, just around protecting yourself financially, can you tell me what you do to protect yourself as far as like a fraud on your accounts, fraud with your identity?
Well, I guess password-wise, I try and use something a little bit different that wouldn't be common. I guess I haven't really thought about fraud either.
Okay. All right. So you would say that right now you aren't taking any steps to protect your identity?
Maybe I'm not taking the steps I need to take.
Well, very good. So what I'd like to take a look at now is just kind of recap that portion to make sure I'm on the same page as yourself. So you've got some things that you've done, seems like fairly well for retirement. I guess I'm not even thinking about this. Do you know approximately what your balances are that you have for those accounts?
For Addison, who's about 3.5, about $3,500 for her.
Okay.
And Bo has about $1,000.
Okay, and how about those rollover IRAs for yourselves?
I believe mine was about $2,000, and the other, I want to say about $5,000.
Great. Yeah, I'd forgotten to ask that, so it's good to know that too, so that we can plan for those future things. So you've got those retirement goals that you had set up for yourself, and you've taken care of through your 401k and through Edward Jones. It's been a while since you've had a chance to review those things. And right now you've got the custodial accounts for the kids, looking to save for their education in the future and putting $100 away per month. And as far as if something came up in an emergency, you oftentimes turn to credit right now. And it's protecting yourself against any fraud on your account or fraud in your identity, just making sure you pick some pretty good passwords, but nothing really beyond that. Does that sound fair?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Very good. I think we've got some good information, Ryan. Just like to take a moment to review this for myself, and then we can see what we're able to help you out with right away on this.
Okay.
All right. Great. So, Ryan, thanks once again for letting me get to know you a little bit better today. This is awesome having the chance to meet with you and see what we can help you out with. And as we talk today, I think there was one thing that I noticed that I really feel is going to be a great area to focus on for you for your financial wellness. And it's how you have things in various different locations. I think if you're able to bring those things all with Kohler Credit Union, you'll have the advantage of, we'll know you really for everything that you're doing financially, and it's just going to help things be even better for you in the future. Where I would focus on with meeting that goal of consolidating everything, you had talked about the checking account and savings account that you have at Associated Bank. And what we can do is set up a checking and savings account for you here that are going to work really nicely for you, especially with the services that you like. You'd mentioned you like the services that are with your mobile phone, the debit card, and even being able to access your money as you travel throughout the state. We've got a great answer with that with the Alliance Network with our ATMs. So even though you can't find Kohler Credit Union to spread around, you'll be able to access your money wherever you might go. You had talked about too, and you've got those emergency situations that pop up where you use that Capital One card that you do have. And what we'll be able to do for you there is we can set you up with our Atira card, which will actually get you benefits when you do use it. And once again, it's going to be something that we can help you out with here locally. Anytime you have questions or you'd like to make a payment, you can stop right here at the branch and we can help you out with that.
Okay.
And just thinking about those things so far, does that sound pretty good for what you might have for those day-to-day types of things?
Yeah, that so far, I like what I hear.
Great. When we talked about the borrowing needs that you do have or the things that you do take care of, Once again, we did see where you've got things spread around to different locations, and I think here we can help you out in some pretty drastic ways to save you some money. You've got that mortgage over at Wells Fargo Home Mortgage, and you haven't checked recently to see how the rate's going for you. So I think that speaking to one of our mortgage representatives that we do have here, they'll be able to go through and analyze your situation and see what we can do for saving you money there, or making the payment something different if you'd like that. You've got the auto loan through Shoreline. Once again, something else, just kind of a satellite account that you have out there. We'll bring that right into Kohler Credit Union and get that something else that we can help you out with here. It's actually kind of a great time to do it too. We have a special that's going on that gets you the normal great rate that we do have, and you can even get some cash back when you close.
Wait, you're gonna pay me?
I know, it seems pretty weird, but it's a cool special and something that doesn't come up very often, so you picked a perfect time to take care of this. We had also talked about when those emergencies come up for yourself or when you make a large purchase. As you're speaking to our mortgage representative and our loan group, what I'd also like you to do is talk to them about what we can do with your home equity. There's some great options that we do have that can work for large purchases and can help for something, an emergency situation that might arise, so that you don't have to come and contact us and have that hiccup or that waiting time. You'll have everything set for yourself right then. And then you'll also have that ability at that time to build a relationship with one of our loan specialists, so that when the vehicle purchase does come up, you'll know exactly who to speak to get yourself pre-approved.
Excellent.
So around that borrowing area for yourselves, does that sound pretty good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Good. And last, we focused on that long-term savings for yourself. Right now, you've got a great plan for the children for your education, and you've got some rollover IRAs for yourself that you haven't checked up on in a while. And the cool thing is that here at Kohler Credit Union, we have Tom Benversi that can help you out with both those areas. He can set up an account for your children, since they've got so much time until they need that education money.
Sure.
That can perform really well. And he can help you with the IRAs to make sure that it's something that is doing the best for you during that time. So with one meeting with Tom, you can get all of those things taken care of. And last, you had talked about making sure that things are going well with your accounts as far as protection. So you said right now you do pretty well for those account passwords.
Yep.
But one of the things we can always do here is help give you some tips on making sure that those passwords are really solid. And we even have a cool program that can help with watching your credit bureau to make sure nothing's happening on there. And it's got some other cool benefits too. So a lot of things that we talked about today, Ryan. Can you tell me, what do you think, how would you prioritize meeting those needs?
Well, I want to take a look at the lending aspect, because I think that's going to give me the greatest return right now. As far as moving accounts over and meeting with Tom, I mean, right now I just don't have that time, so I can think about that.
Great. I know you've got someone that you are working with so far. Tell me about how you plan to meet with Tom, or what your thoughts are about meeting with him.
Well, you know, I first of all got to get my wife involved with this, so it would have to be a time that both of us are available. But I do see the benefit of sitting down. You know, we haven't done it in a while. I don't even know where we're at. So, I mean, I'm definitely open to the idea of meeting with Tom. We got to find a time that works.
Okay, good. Just wanted to check to make sure it was something that you weren't opposed to. So, awesome. So with what I'll be taking care of in the system, I'll be setting up some of those things that we had talked about. It's a great time for you to reach out to our loan group. So what I'll do is get you in touch with one of our loan specialists right now, so that they can start focusing on that area for you, since it really is the one that you feel is most important, and I think it is the one that we can help you out best with. Great. Ryan, let's go ahead and get that started. Are there any questions before we do that?
Nope.
Awesome. All right. Great, Ryan. I'm so glad we had a chance to meet once again. I think that we've made great strides today in strengthening our relationship that we have here and knowing a little bit more about yourself. Just want to touch on the last few things that we had talked about to make sure that we take care of these for you too, that we don't forget about them. We had talked about having the chance to meet with a mortgage specialist. Becca is probably the person I would get you in touch with for that. So she does come out here periodically. Tuesdays are often the best time. So we had talked about She'll reach out to you. I believe it's going to be on Friday in the afternoon. You said it's going to be a good time for
Friday. Friday's good.
And she can start really to talk to you by phone, and then she'll have a chance to set an appointment to meet with you all here at the branch at a time that's convenient for yourself.
Okay.
You had talked about putting things off a little bit with Tom. You had some things you wanted to get together and then have a chance to meet with your wife as well. What do you think will be the best time for us to carry on with that?
You know, if you give me a call, we could probably get something scheduled in the next 2 weeks or so.
Okay. Great. And that does bring up one of the other things that we had talked about, which will give us a chance to talk about transitioning those accounts over to Kohler Credit Union. And I'd like to help you out with anything that you might need help with. If it's helping with direct deposit, getting that set up, or even setting up the online bill pay so you're pretty familiar with that, we'll do that at that time. So what I can do is I'll reach out to you then within this next 2 week period, just to have a chance to check to see how those loan applications are going, and make sure you've had a chance to get in touch with Becca. And then we'll set the stage for meeting with Tom and getting those accounts transitioned.
Okay.
How does that sound?
That sounds great, Paul.
Awesome. Well, I'd like to thank you once again.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Paul.
Have an excellent day.
Yeah, same to you.